Hello and welcome. Welcome to the science section of the Key Stage 4 curriculum information. My name is Amy Titherley. I'm Head of Science here at Ralph Allen School, and I'm going to go through some information about the two possible options that you could choose at GCSE in science, and they are combined science and separate sciences. I hope you find the information useful. If you would like any further information or have any questions, you can see that my email address is in the middle of the screen there, and it's a.titherley@ralphallenschool.com. Okay, so let's get started. In the session today, I hope to go over the overview of the two different courses, the science topics that are involved in both of the different courses, and the support that we offer here at Ralph Allen for students. Okay, so I appreciate there's a lot of information on the next couple of slides. I'm going to talk through the information on the sides, and hopefully the video will be available for you to have a little look back and go over the information if you want to revisit it at another time. So the first thing to highlight at the top of the screen is that both of the science options that we offer at Ralph Allen allow students to study A-level biology, chemistry, or physics. So whichever option you choose to take, that doesn't limit any of your options at A-level. We also now have just started the CTEC Applied Science in Year 12 and Year 13, and both courses also will follow on to the CTEC Applied Science if students are interested in studying that in the future. So what are the two options? So the first option, option 1, is GCSE Combined Science, which lots of students and staff often call double science. If you study this course, then you will, as a student, have 10 lessons per fortnight, and you will get 2 GCSEs at the end of the 2 years. There are 2 exams, and there are 2 exams in each science, so 2 in biology, 2 in chemistry, and 2 physics. And there are foundation and higher paper options for students to sit. If students choose to opt to study an extra science, so separate sciences, which we often call triple science, that means that students will get 3 GCSEs at the end of the 2 years instead of 2 GCSEs. There will be 15 lessons per fortnight, so 5 in biology, 5 in chemistry, and 5 in physics. The exams are slightly longer, but there are the same number of exams, and there are still the foundation and higher paper options. As students are currently in Year 9, we do an end of Key Stage 3 assessment towards the end of Term 3. So that's this term. And after this assessment, regardless of what science options they've chosen for GCSE, students will remain in their current science group, so their current Year 9 science group, but they will then start to study Key Stage 4 content. And the reason for that is students are already settled in their groups. They're doing really well this year. We've been really proud of our Year 9 students so far. And both combined science and separate sciences, whichever course you study to choose at GCSE, they start off covering the same scientific content at the start of the course. And so all students, regardless of what Year 9 group they're in, will study the same content towards the middle to end of Year 9 as part of their GCSE course. The separate sciences course is most suitable for students with a really keen interest in science. As you can see, there are 15 lessons per fortnight in triple science, as opposed to 10 lessons per fortnight in double science. So every student at Ralph Allen will study at least double science. And if you have a really keen interest, then you might choose to study triple science, or what we call separate sciences. The end of Key Stage 3 assessment also gives us a little bit of a guide as to whether students have the ability to and write in the right kind of way in order to succeed in separate sciences. There isn't an entry requirement, but it definitely gives us a basis for a conversation whether students are making an appropriate choice by choosing triple science. Anyone who's unsure if separate sciences is an appropriate choice, the best thing to do is either to discuss with myself, so Miss Titherley, or even better, to discuss with their science teacher, as they will know them individually and be able to advise whether separate sciences is the most appropriate choice for them moving forward. This last slide, just a slightly different way of representing the number of exams in the different sciences. So the top one is separate science. So you'll notice 2 biology papers, 2 chemistry papers, and 2 physics, and exactly the same for the combined science. Although, as you can see, the length of the papers at the end of the year 11 is a little bit longer for separate sciences to reflect the extra content that they will be studying. One of the key things that you will notice in the little boxes over on the right-hand side is that for the separate sciences, the GCSEs that students will end up with are completely separate. So they will have one GCSE in biology, a separate GCSE in chemistry, and a separate GCSE in physics. So it's possible, for example, that students could get 1 grade in biology, so for example, a grade 8, a different grade in chemistry, for example, a grade 5, and maybe a completely different grade again in physics, for example, a grade 9, for example. For combined science, that's a little bit different. So for combined science, all of the papers, so all of the 9 papers, 6 papers that students sit, all of those marks are added up and students will end up with 2 grades. And those 2 grades will be linked. So it will be an average of how those students have done in biology paper 1 and 2, chemistry paper 1 and 2, and physics paper 1 and 2. So that might appeal or not appeal depending on how you look at things. So if you're a bit better in one science, that might pull your grade up, or if you view it the other way, if you're not quite so good at another science, you might view it as pulling your grade down. So a slightly different method of assessment. Okay, the science topics. So this is something that lots of students ask us about, and I absolutely love teaching all of these topics, particularly the biology topics. I'm a biologist myself, but I know that the physicists and the chemists will say exactly the same about their physics and chemistry topics. Now, the really interesting thing is the way the course is structured. You will notice if you compare the left-hand column, which are the combined science topics, to the right-hand column, which are the separate science topics, that all the topics are exactly the same. So the first topic in paper 1 biology is cell biology, and the first topic in paper 1 biology, but in the separate sciences, is also cell biology, and so throughout the columns. The kind of change in this bit is that for the separate sciences, there is often a bit extra in each topic. So it goes into the detail of that particular topic in a bit more detail and learning a little bit more scientific information. There is, however, one exception, and you'll notice right at the bottom of the table on this slide, it's highlighted in bold, the bottom bullet point in physics GCSE. So the only additional topic in the separate science GCSE is space physics. And so if you're interested in studying space, you won't be studying space physics if you opt to do the combined science GCSE, but you can study, or you will be studying, space physics as part of the physics GCSE. So that may or may not make a difference and help you with your choices. Okay, so the last little thing for me in terms of the support available. So we offer an after-school help club. So that's a weekly help club, which is staffed by all the members of the science team on a rotation basis. We also subscribe to Caboodle, and that's something that we have also started at Key Stage 3 this year. The textbook that we use at Key Stage 3 is a little bit different to the Key Stage 4 textbook for obvious reasons. But lots of resources are available online in addition to the GCSE textbooks. And this is an online platform where students can access resources, and they should already be familiar with how to log on. So their username, their first initial followed by their surname, the same password until they've changed it, and then an institution code. So that's something that we use Just started to use at Key Stage 3, but we use a lot at Key Stage 4. We also offer revision guides for sale if students are interested in a revision guide, and lots of other support materials within school as well. So thank you very much for listening. Please do get into contact if you would like any further information, or some of the really good sources of information are our amazing science teachers here at Ralph Allen School. So really proud of our team, and they're really knowledgeable about all of the GCSE courses. The key contacts, obviously myself at the top. I'm head of science. I'm also head of biology here at Ralph Allen. And there's my email address. Mr. Tennant, who is deputy head of science and head of physics, and Mr. Blair, who is head of chemistry. All people who hopefully or definitely will be able to answer your questions about your GCSE choices. So thank you for listening. Good luck in your choices. We'd love to have you studying triple science or separate science here at Ralph Allen. But even though if your choice is combined science or otherwise called double science, fantastic. And we're looking forward to teaching you next year. Take care. Bye-bye.